Hey everybody, Matty here with Altcoin Buzz. Happy Thursday. And today it's all about perspectives and our outlook on the 2020s. We're looking at this post by Bobby Orr, who's talking about how people gave up on Bitcoin in 2011 just before a major 90% decline in prices. We all know what happened in the years following. However, we'll also cover this series of tweets, I should say, by American Hodl, who's talking about the 7 Bitcoin baby steps that will show you how to buy Bitcoin, build wealth, and take control of your money for good. We're also going to be discussing these predictions for what will happen in the 2020s. A couple of those 7 Bitcoin baby steps in particular will come into play. We'll take a look at all those and one extra article, but first let's look at coinmarketcap.com today for a snapshot of the market. We are at 190 billion total market cap today. Bitcoin sits at $7,170 at the time of this recording, down just a little bit. In fact, down 0.72% in these last 24 hours. Dominance, however, still kind of high, 68.2%. Bobby Orr here on Twitter. People thought Bitcoin was dead before the warm-up even begins. Those tweets are from 2011 after a 90% plus decrease in price. And this is great nostalgia right here. Take a look at these tweets from 2011. Hey, turns out that Bitcoin is a complete bust. Yeah, I'm stunned. Not too bad Bitcoin didn't work out, etc., etc. Did anyone really think Bitcoin would work? Really? Ever? For those viewers that may be new to the space, or for those members of the Altcoin Buzz army that may be new to blockchain or Bitcoin or crypto in general, it's important to remember that these things are cyclical. So going back to the markets that we just took a look at, even if things are kind of ho-hum right now, I mean, there's not really much volatility to the upside or the downside. Things are kind of lukewarm, let's be honest, and maybe not too exciting. But it's important to realize that whether you experience a great fortuitous surge in price that benefits your portfolio, or if you get wrecked during a given day or a given week or a given month, just make sure you keep sight of the long-term horizon, because these things keep changing. They've been changing for the 10 plus years that Bitcoin has been in existence. And personally speaking, not financial advice, but my expectation is that the patterns will continue as the space grows moving forward. With that in mind, we're looking at this tweet here by American Hodl, the Bitcoin baby steps. Bitcoin's 7 baby steps will show you how to buy Bitcoin, build wealth, and take control of your money for good. We recommend having a household budget and emergency fund before embarking on the Bitcoin baby steps. These are pretty basic, and we're going to go through them fairly rapid style here, but we'll come back to a couple in particular as we examine the next article. Baby step number 1, buy a small amount of Bitcoin. Maybe about $100 or so. That's just to make sure you're familiar with the mechanisms and the functionality and you know how to transfer and whatnot. Baby step number 2, buy more Bitcoin. Self-evident, right? Number 3, purchase a hardware wallet. Make sure you have something that is offline, that is not vulnerable or susceptible, I should say, to hackers. A hardware wallet is very, very important. If you're playing around with $100 or so in a test profile, maybe you don't necessarily need an expensive hardware wallet, but once your investments start to grow, once you pour more and more money into it, you got to ask yourself, would I be comfortable if all these funds got wiped out? And if the answer is no, if you would take a big hit if that were to happen, then I think it makes sense to mitigate your risks and to invest in a hardware wallet. Very, very important suggestion right there. Baby step number 4, take control of your sats, your satoshis. Up until now, you've only had an IOU. Time to get your Bitcoins off the app and send to your hardware wallet. Make sure you send a small transaction, $10 or so, in order to get comfortable making those transactions, and then send the rest of your satoshis. Baby step number 5, learn more about Bitcoin. Number 6, multi-sig, as in multi-signature service. Bitcoin can rise pretty fast. You may find yourself in a position where suddenly your $1,000 is worth $100,000. Isn't that the dream? Multi-signature provides an extra level of security by splitting access to your Bitcoin amongst multiple hardware wallets, and American Hodl suggests Casa Hodl. And finally, baby step number 7, run a full node once you're comfortable and up to speed with the ecosystem. Full nodes sound scary and confusing, but not really. They're just a copy of the Bitcoin blockchain that you will use to receive and send transactions. Finally, for today, we have this piece, which is a prognostication of what will happen in the 2020 musings of a VC, a venture capitalist in New York City, Fred Wilson. This brought to us yesterday on the 1st of January, 2020. Now, Fred goes into great detail about all kinds of things that he foresees in the next decade that are relevant not only to, I guess, his reality as a venture capitalist, but really to mankind and society as a whole. So some of these certainly are not particular to cryptocurrency, but they do kind of overlap in terms of technology. Number one, for example, Fred talks about the looming climate crisis. So although that's off topic, we can make sure that if you're interested in it, we'll link to this in the description below. You can read more about it. At number two, Fred discusses automation. At number three, how China will emerge as the world's dominant global superpower. But here we're getting into the meat and potatoes of it as far as we're concerned. At number four, countries will create and promote digital crypto versions of their fiat currencies led by China, who moves first and benefits the most from this move. The US will be hamstrung by regulatory restraints and will be slow to move, allowing other countries and regions to lead the crypto sector. Asian crypto exchanges, unchecked by cumbersome regulatory restraints in Europe and the US and leveraging decentralized finance technologies, will become the dominant capital markets for all types of financial instruments. It's an astute prediction, in my opinion. Just yesterday, in fact, we were talking about how nation states are wanting to build up their own crypto support systems, really as a hedge against other economic variables and other economic threats. We're talking about China, we're talking about Russia, Venezuela, Iran, and others. Certainly, they're very much interested in this. And more importantly, and this speaks to the nuance of this prediction, I agree with him about how the US would perhaps want to leverage that kind of advantage, but they would indeed, I totally agree, they would be hamstrung by their own internal regulatory processes. Number five also relates to this space. A decentralized internet will emerge, led initially by decentralized infrastructure services like storage, bandwidth, computers, etc. The emergence of decentralized consumer applications will be slow to take hold, and a killer decentralized consumer app will not emerge until the latter part of the decade, possibly. Check out the rest of these top 20 predictions for the 2020s. We're talking about plant-based diets, space exploration, mass surveillance, which will most certainly continue, and baby boomers dominating the conversation in the US and around the world, and millennials and Gen Z, how they're going to be running many institutions by the end of the decade. Continued advancements in genetics, as well as some other political opinions peppered in. It really is a good piece, and we encourage you to read it all and absorb the entirety of it. We'll link to it in the description below. Finally, and we're not going to get into this, but if you've not caught this piece just yet by the MIT Tech Review, it is the most popular piece of cryptocurrency coverage for the entire year of 2019, discussing how nearly all Bitcoin trades are fake, apparently. So if you're already feeling nostalgic about the year 2019, go back and check this one out. I think, in my opinion, this is largely what extended the bear market and pushed down exuberance for the space, led by major publications like the MIT Tech Review and others, obviously, that picked it up. So it would still be filed under the FUD category, in my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt for that reason. But there you have it. We'll link to that below if you're interested in learning more. That about wraps it up for today, everybody. By the way, we got your message loud and clear. Yesterday's January 1st video was a little bit experimental. We threw in some music, we threw in some different effects, and I think some people were okay with it. Others vehemently came out and told us that they were not digging it. So as you notice today, we kind of cut those effects. We cut some of those music sequences. Above all, we want to be responsive to what it is you're looking for in terms of your content members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. Hey, so make sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels. Keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications if you've enjoyed today's video. Don't forget about our giveaway that's happening on the 4th of January. We are giving away another CryptoTag Zeus starter kit. You have to like all videos between that Saturday and the previous giveaway. You got to comment in one of those. We'll pick a video at random and then pick a comment at random, as well as a corresponding winner. Best of luck, everybody, if you choose to invest. Have a wonderful Thursday, and as always, we hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.